Oh, hello everyone, Ito here and welcome back to another week of this Minecraft series. And this week, of course, we are going to be working on the next big building. And that is going to be that one. So, alright, don't get scared, it's not that see a cute cat. It's not that dangerous as it sounds. It's not like we are going to be something new. We are just going to retexture this whole building and we are going to make a hole over here. Not a hole, but a hole. H-A-L-L. So yeah, we are kind of going to make this extend into a whole room. I think that height is really good. And actually the room could be even wider and bigger like this. So yeah, we are going to store the stuff over there. And this room is going to be in the floor of Tenos. And with that, we are going to have Wendar. We are going to have on the back there with the tree Belara. And over here at the entrance Tenos. And that's going to be perfect for kind of tying up all the different parts of the gods. And actually, I believe I want the portal to be in the colors of the Divine Paradox. So yeah, that's kind of like the project of this week. So let's go. And when you are doing any type of this kind of a big project, I would say big, even if it doesn't feel like it's really big, to be honest, you need to start with the color palette. And in this case, since I know that I want to go with the color of Tenos, which are like really light blue, I'm going to do something different in this case, the same that I do with this one, because remember, this god is smitten down and struck down by the gods, so actually it's not the right color of the gods in itself. It needs to be a little bit more tainted. I'm going to do a darker palette. And the other important thing is you need to remember how far away or from how far away you want to look at this. In my case, my aesthetic range from this angle, which is where you came from the warp plate or the wavestone, and as close up to like this point, which is going to be probably like the entrance over here. So you're going to look at the entrance from far away, but everything is kind of on the shot. It's similar like how the temple is intended to be viewed as from here and also from far away from there. So yeah. And that means, like, I believe this is nice. And of course, you can do probably the math if you are, like, really nerdy. If you are. But yeah, you can count, like, the distance from where you are going to see that and the amount of different type of blocks that you are kind of allowed to see without being super overbearing. So in this case, we are using 1, 2, 3, and then a 4th one. And we are only talking about like the support, not all the different type of decorations, because that's a different philosophy. So we are using 4 blocks for something that I consider is going to be close to medium range. This is not something like in the background, so that's totally different. And in this case, I got prepared up to 9 different type of blocks with some variants. And I want to see how this is going to be looking. And of course, we are going to come in the range from the warp stem, which I think it looks really cool. Then we are going to have the warp block, which to be honest can be like on either side. It could be also on this other side. But the reason why I'm doing this is because we are going to mix it with the twisting polish one. And then we are going to do a twisting blackstone in the middle. Let me go and get some more of these blocks. I don't have that many of them, but I should be able to get more. So that one goes there, that one goes here. And the reason why I'm doing it like inverted of what would be common sense in this case, I mean in terms of the colors, is because this is more greenish and then this is more bluish. And I want to transition into a bluish tone. So first I thought about this one, but the problem, even if this is kind of in mix okay with the colors, you can see this white dot that I don't want to have. So this one actually could become cool if I want to make some type of variant, in case, for example, of doing that from here. So I'm going to their transition from here, do the whitish, and I think it's not so bad. And we could do something similar with this one, but we shall see that later. And I'm going to try with the abyssaline block. But the problem with the abyssaline is actually, because then this guy needs to come up to this point, so it's breaching this too. The problem is the texture. The texture is really far away from everything that we got, you know, like jagged, or you could say it like mixed, a little bit like granite or something, which is really like a mixed texture. But with this one, which is more like the blackstone, and this of course is like bricks, so this wave is totally off. That doesn't mean necessarily that these blocks can be used, because actually we can get the abyssaline bricks. And that, since even if this doesn't solve all the problems, I think it's going to be something. Can we get other one of these? I think we can try them with the chisel, but it's too much. And then we got the pillars and just the lamps or the plating. So yeah, nothing kind of too much. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, poor Yuan. So yeah, this is like the contention point right now. I'm not so happy on this, but I think it could work. Also, I could use 2 coral over here, but I think if I'm going to use that coral, to be honest, is going to be with something. Yeah, let's do it like this. And then I'm just going to plant the coral over there, so that way it's never going to be updated, you know? So, yeah, it's going to be in... Actually, I can put the copycat panel on the other side too. So yeah, let's do it like that. And that way it doesn't affect too much difference. So yeah, that's going to be like another thing. And as you can see, it's also more whiteage. So these are going to be super cool to merge into the whiteage better. So yeah, then we go with that. We are going to use some part of the azurine because this one is just too whiteage. Probably what we should do is, I think for this one specifically, we need to go, yeah, let's make the brick ones. We need to go inside of the temple over here to make the bricks ones. This is still going to have some degree of whitish tones because these are bright in their corners, but I think it's going to be okay overall. So I don't think it's going to be a bad move to put this here, because again, you got some whitish tones, and now we are in a total different palette. And the reason why I think this is going to be cool is because now we can transition from this whitish tone into the gray areas. And of course, we got some different options over here, but I think mostly it's going to be that over there. And probably this one is going to be a little bit over here, or actually it's going to be just like that. So we are going to use the lapis lazuli ore for mixing. Again, this is all of these, as you can see, are whitish or more clear tones for going to merge into the white, because I still want to give some degree of white, maybe the whole box, or maybe the tank kind of are going to be contained over there, mainly because I can't change the tone on the grindstone, so that's going to look weird to have them over there, like totally safe. So probably we are going to do something similar over there and over there, but we shall see. I still want to taint some part of the tank, not so sure about on the box, because this should be like the more tainted part, you know. And after we got like the lava, you need to remember that this frog was initially just pouring water, but now everything is boiling lava. So yeah, the problem, and I think this palette is really cool overall. But the problem that we are facing now is we need to narrow it down the closer to the 4 type of blocks. And as you can count here, I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is too much. We don't count this because these are like the variants. So they are going to be, when I'm not going to tell you like the story of the smitten down whole train, but more like the things that got preserved. So these are going to be other transition ones. And for this, now what I just need to do is start skimming this, testing and pulling the blocks over and apart. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to test this with them. I will give you an update when I got the final palette. And just like that, I managed to narrow this down to 5. And also I used kind of every single block that I got allocated over here. So this is kind of a perfect. You can see the bottom line, which is a little bit more forced if you want. It's not as clean as kind of a that one, which is also not so clean, but you can see like this is brick, that is brick, this is also brick, so it's pretty much like 3 blocks with the similar, because it's not exactly the same texture, plus one extra for more like the noise. Well, in this case, I got pretty much 4 different textures, because these ones are also the same as the bricks, so this is kind of a one, but since this is so different in color palette, you probably are not going to register this type of bricks as one. So this is 1, 2, 3, and then this is kind of the bricks texture as the 4th. So it's going to be way more kind of strong into the eye, and I could remove maybe this one, but I don't think it's a good idea. So also I collected some extra material. I could try it, but I'm not so sold onto this one, to be honest, but I think it, again, it's worth the try. So to keep everything organized, this could be the other block palette. Probably it's a little bit better. Huh, interesting. I just think this one doesn't go well there. So in that regard, it's going to be like a variant over here. And then we keep either the coral or this one on the top. Interesting. I think... Ooh, I'm not so sure on that one. I think the coral is not so bad either. Again, it doesn't matter that this is going to be a gradient or something, mainly because I'm going to use this against the white, so not against each other. So I believe this makes the better gradient, but at the same time it's not the best for going against the white because this is so dark. So this is going to be a better option. This is not such a bad idea, especially because this is going to make all the bricks come together. And I kind of like that. Of course, the other option is just to have that over there, going like this, and also have this then on the side, which is probably better in that regards. So I'm still going to work in between these 2 different color palettes, and what we are going to do is actually put this other one over here. And yeah, let's make a new one starting from here, so we can see that. So we skip this middle line, and then we go just like that. And then, of course, for the top part, then we are going to grab exactly the same. Oops. Then I believe this is really good. And then we are just going to end with this. So it's pretty much like more straightforward. Or we do the same thing that we did earlier on here. I just want bundle. We do this part here. We are going to use the coral, and it needs to be in this way because I don't want to lose it or waterlog or everything that's going to become later. Yeah, that's way better actually. And then we are going to clear out this, which is kind of a perfect, and we end up with that variant on the other side. And actually we can use this for more like a darker tone if we want, so we can say something like this, and that's going to be probably way better. So yeah, now you can compare which one kind of you fancy more, and that's how you make gradient. You put the blocks, try to picture how they are going to interact well together, and remember, you always want to change one thing at a time. So either you change the texture and you keep pretty much everything same in terms of the color scheme, or you change the color scheme but you need to keep the texture. That's why I believe this transition smoothly than this one, because then we got this change of color from kind of a green or more cyan if you want, but this is green, and against the blue, but also from the bricks to some really noisy one. Well, in this case, it's bricks, bricks, bricks all the way along, and then this is different, but since you got the green, and you got pretty much the same green, it's not so hard, even if we are kind of changing the black with the reddish tone there. So yeah, I believe this one is a better scheme, especially with adding this dark spot. And yeah, that's how you do it. So let's start building. Okay guys, I got new update and super excellent groundbreaking news, which are the first one, this is how it's coming, but we are going to just run away from that. I just realized something that I have always tried with these ones. I'm using, of course, copycat panels because, you know, the drill, people flick my trapdoors, I don't like them, yeah. So, and the way that I was doing this, for example, because they are aligned in different kind of shapes, is I need to go here, and then I place this one, I break the bottom one, and I think I showed you this on a stream for sure, and also on a video. So then I place this one over here, and then I place the top one, and it retakes the shape. And then of course I need to replace with the block. But yeah, this is a tedious process, and here comes the groundbreaking news. Oh, great mod, I love it every single time, way more. So actually all of that thing is not needed, because this is way much simpler. So if you hit them, sometimes they copy like the closest trapdoor. Usually I think it's either the top one or the bottom one, but if you click it again, it just swaps. So it doesn't matter. Now I don't need to do it twice or kind of breaking the bottom blocks. I just need to hit it more, and that's everything. So yeah, hopefully you find that useful, because I believe it's really powerful. You can see now I'm right clicking. Oh, yeah, that was okay. So double clicks on both of them. I'm going to be clicking slower. So first one, second one, and just like that, everything is done. So yeah, groundbreaking news. This is really cool. But let me build a little bit more, and then we come back later with some adjustments on this one. This is where we are going right now in terms of the progress. So I needed to move down these, I totally forget the name, but this kind of a see-through LED light shines into the building. It's kind of like a window, so let's call it window for the simplicity. But yeah, we got these all the way around, and I move it down so we keep like the proportion aesthetics that we have with the other parts of the temple. So this is going to feel like it's part of the temple. Probably over here I want to have a divisor or something, but I haven't kind of decide what I really want to have there. Like another pillar, probably like that or something. But on this side ones, I believe I want to have something more open, so, or kind of a more a bigger wall, if you want. But yeah, we went with the same design of the entrance door there that is barricade. In this case, of course, we need to do a little bit of tweaking because I wanted to keep the ladder on the same spot on where it was originally. And I just cover all the floor. Probably we need to also add more of the lichen because now this is bigger. And also I did the ornaments already for the whole thing. So yeah, this is what we have. This is going to be, you know, like the three main colors of the palette. I mix some of the twisting here and there, like over there, for example, for having a little bit more of a depth, if you want. I also added this one, which is like the brick version with the solage, but I think it looks worse actually, so probably I'm going to change them in the normal twisting black tone. But yeah, this is what we have. I'm really happy with this. And just for a quick summary, these blocks are going to mark the roadway. So if you look at this from far away, you can see like I want to add some type of pathway here that showing you like, yeah, the cars came over here and the monk pathway came over this side into the temple entrance. And since now we're going to have another building, we are going to go over there. So I'm not so sure if I'm going to use something like the dripstone block, or if I'm going to go more like into the into the gravel or something like that. I haven't decided how I'm going to use the pathways. So yeah, that's going to be something totally different. I still want to have this to be some type of snowy something, but also want you to be able to see through. So I don't know yet. So that's why the blocks are here on the top. That way also, even if it's snow, they are going to be covered, but I know like, yeah, this is like the road template. So yeah, I'm going to prepare some of other materials and I will be right back. And after the Wednesday stream, we did good progress. So you can see now the pavilion. I'm going to call it pavilion so you don't get confused with the main temple. It's coming together. So over here we struggled a little bit with the beams. We did plenty of logs. You can see here. So the problem with the logs is when you are looking for more bluish tones, which in kind of a the color scheme are more like these, here colder tones, because you know blue is cold. Instead, of course, of the reddish warmer tones, it's hard to combine them. So we got a really good one with the driftwood, but sadly, when you are trying to go for the beams, there's no like a really black one. So you get at best the dark oak, and again the dark oak is this one that we already have used, and you can see this is way more reddish than actually neutral. So this is like gray, for example, and yeah, this is clearly more reddish. So it doesn't work, and then I just kind of went the other way around. Well, if I can have the darker most or the most darker one, well, what if I go with the more clearer one or the most unsaturated? And then I just stripped the driftwood and I added the driftwood beams. And kind of funnily enough, now the driftwood beam is actually darker than the other stripped part. So either way, I think it works nice for this. I think it provides the extra contrast. And then we added, of course, the top part of the roof. For this one, we needed to go with something in the similar concept of that one, but of course with this color scheme. So you can see like that is mostly orange, and of course, oh, that's fog. Good job, Siren. Okay, let me focus on the temple there. Come on, don't interrupt me. I'm easily distracted. Yeah, so you can see we got already just the main scheme, then we got green, or I mean yellow for the decorations and for everything else. And of course, in the mix in between yellow and red, you get orange. So this is kind of a way why I went with this. And then of course we added some of the reddish part because we wanted to extend the tendrils. And then we used a little bit of the blossom, which was more darker because we don't want it to have like the roof ignited, so we wanted to go with more of the darker ones. But in this case, we don't have that luxury because there are not that many type of stairs that are actually darker or blacker that are not these ones. And again, this is like what I consider to be the awoke or alive still burning, if you want, power of the gods. So of course it's really cool for the planks because they added moving elements, which is awesome. But yeah, there are no like really black stairs that are not necessarily the already that we are using. So the main rule that I have here is it needs to be something kind of a darker but mostly greenish, and it needs to be able to convey what we are doing with the building itself. So I went with the blue nether bricks, and then we got, of course, the twisting polish, but again, it's like grabbing the cinders or the ashes for there. I just need something which is already kind of a burned out, if you want. So yeah, using the same color scheme on the bottom side, we added, since we don't have it at the same time with the trapdoors or type of color, we just went for way more contrast. Essentially kind of a reverting what we did there in terms of the color palette. So you can see, except for the darker spot, since I can go darker, I decided, well, Then on the whiter or the brighter spots, I'm just going to be desaturated. That way I can have a higher contrast. And for this part, I just went with the black one because this is going to be also in the shadow of the building. And sadly, there is no driftwood wood, which is really annoying because can you believe that with the material that is called driftwood, there is no wood? I mean, come on, we got the logs, we got the strip version, we got even the beams, but there is no wood here. So, seriously, Iskal? Seriously? No wood on the driftwood? Come on. Worst drift ever. But yeah, so this is what we have already, and the last part is going to be adding the roof over here and also having the decorations on the top part. But the main reason why I wanted to do that here is because, and this is something that I didn't kind of tell you before because I just talk about this on the stream and then I totally forget, is this building is actually architecturally and historically important. This is called a Kyōzō. And a Kyōzō, it's a building where the Buddhist temples hold their important text or sacred sutras. So everything that is kind of a more religious, but also imperial mandates and stuff like that, they were stored here. So we are going to have a storage system here or something, kind of remembering that pretty much. But the main reason why that was important is because my temple is facing south, which is facing the spawn in this case. And this is how most of the temples were built together. That's why kind of this is the main door and the other one is more like a side door, but it's supposed to be closed. And of course you can see the sun is setting over there, so that's the west. On that side is the east, and there are no kind of exact reasons on why this is happening, but the Kyōzō usually were from east to west axis, and the only thing that we are going to require later on is going to be over here, which is going to be the Chōzō, and the Chōzō is kind of where the temple bell is actually placed on, and it's usually in direct front of that other building. So it's going to be a little bit of a mirror one, probably somewhere around here. I'm going to put the bell kind of matching the pathway to the temple, and yeah, that's going to be pretty much everything, and that's why this placing was important. So everything is coming together. I love it, but I didn't have time because Easter Bunny came and came with friends and we played and tested my game. So yeah, there were a huge weekend of improvement over there, and I just still need to edit the video for this week, so no more updates. This is what we have so far. I really don't know how much I showed you, but I think I showed you everything that we have over here, and the next one is going to be for the next week. So we need to do the roof and all the crane that is behind here, because as you can see here, this is just still only the pavilion, but we need to do all the extension. So as usual, if you're interested into more content like this, feel free to drop by on my Twitch and we'll see you there. So bye bye.